Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
You're watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and today we are in Nigeria. My guest is Toyin Kennie Oyinloye, and he is a SEO specialist, and today we are going to find out from him what an SEO specialist does, if you don't know, and also what has been happening in Nigeria during this time of COVID. Toyin, welcome to Conversations with Jennylyn.
Thank you, Jennylyn, for having me on the show. So SEO specialist, the role of an SEO specialist is to ensure that your website ranks first on Google or on the front page for certain keywords. Say, for example, you're into fashion, fashion in California, and then there's a prospect that comes on Google to search and types fashion in California. The first 3 or 4 websites on the homepage, they are well optimized. The full meaning of SEO is search engine optimization. So when you optimize the website, you make it Google friendly. There are a couple of rules that Google have set. If you abide by those rules, your website is going to rank high for particular keywords in your country.
Wow! You're just the guy I need too.
Oh, that's nice. Good to hear.
So, what is life like for the people in Nigeria around you? Because I know you don't know about everyone. How has COVID been affecting everyone's life where you live? Have you guys had a lot of deaths?
Oh, yeah. Now we know that worldwide, COVID-19 has had a serious negative effect on the way life is and the way businesses are being run. Billions of dollars have been lost in the aviation industry. Generally, that's one of those sectors that have been hit terribly hard by the pandemic. So here in Nigeria, it's the same. There are challenges. Gracefully, certain individuals and the government agencies have been able to help people with measures, palliatives to ensure that they are able to cope in a little way. They've been supportive. People that are privileged, that haven't lost their jobs or lost any, or lost their source of income in this period, they've been helpful as well. They've been trying the best they can to reach out to people that have lost their jobs. A lot of jobs have been lost around here as well. Lives have been lost. I lost a loved one as well to COVID-19. So people are just trying to be hopeful, we know that I can't say the world was prepared for this, but I believe we are made for this. I believe we can survive through these challenges, Humanity is strong enough to cope in trying times. So I believe we can respond well. Like they say, every situation has 2 handles, the handle of faith or the handle of anxiety. So if we turn our courage on, we turn our faith on, we're going to overcome and cope well in these situations.
So are you aware of how many people have died in your country so far? Have you had a large number of deaths? Because here in California, we've had a lot. In Brazil, they've had a lot. In Italy, they've had a lot. I spoke to a doctor in Johannesburg. They've had a lot. Do you feel like you know what the numbers look like in Nigeria?
Well, the numbers are very high here as well. Based on some reports, we have up to 50,000 cases, if not more, up to 1,000 deaths in Nigeria at the moment. But we know these figures can be interesting at times. It might not match up with the reality on ground. I think I have for Egypt here about 96,000. I think this was done, let me see, this was done on the 9th. This is today's report, actually, for various countries in the world affected by the pandemic. South Africa, more than almost 500,000, more than 500,000 cases. So we've been hit terribly hard. What we've been trying to do around here also is to be safe. When you go around, you move around with your sanitizers, your nose masks, you ensure you don't shake people. You're sure you avoid physical contact so you can be safe and you can be fine in this period. I believe it has come to go, though based on some reports, physical contact might still have to be avoided till 2022. So we still have some ground to cover. We are hopeful that the medical practitioners will be able to find a cure soonest, so life can go back to normal.
Do you think the reason you guys were hit as hard as you have, because I know people are tired of hearing about COVID-19, but it hasn't gone away, and instead of going away, people are preparing for resurgences. So, it's not something we can sweep away and go enough and be done with it. We can be done with it in terms of giving energy to it, but it's clearly not done with us. So do you feel like the reason you guys have had as many cases is because you didn't quarantine early enough? Or what do you think? Why do you think your country was so hard hit? I am hoping to make a documentary at the end of this. So some of the questions I'm asking are pertinent to doing that. So that's why I'm asking you this.
Oh, okay. In our environment, the government are doing the bit they can, or they could, but we are not so proactive around there.
In the beginning.
Exactly. At the beginning, even in the US, there were, what was in the news was, this was a Chinese problem.
Right.
And then later on, we came to understand that it is now the world's problem. So there were a couple of times people were calling, people were calling the government to shut down our borders, to do what the needful they could have done to prevent influx of strangers or foreigners into the country, and then so that we can be safe. But that wasn't done until later. So we could have been more proactive. I believe so much. We could have been more proactive. So that's one of the reasons why we have many cases. Then around there are still a couple of people that don't believe that COVID-19 is real. Some are still living in denial.
Even now, people are still
even till now, some are playing down the impacts, the very catastrophic impact of COVID-19 on lives. Some still believe it's trivial, there's nothing more to it, they'll be fine. Just like I had, some organizations in the US, religious bodies decided to open up their churches, and then the pastors got affected. Some even lost their lives. So that happens around here as well. People just feel, some couple of people, a group of people just feel it's still not strong enough to bring them down. So we're not proactive enough.
Well, the danger of believing that when there's so much evidence that there's something killing people more than they ever died, there's something contaminating and killing people. The people who don't want to take this seriously, what bothers me is eventually become the people that are probably asymptomatic that's making everybody else sick. Because I've noticed a lot of people who don't believe it is what it is are not necessarily taking all the precautions.
Absolutely, you're correct. You see people moving around without any masks, any form of protection. People cuddling together in different places, especially bars, and some other centers. And there's an extent to which you can go to correct people. You can't force them to do what they don't want to do.
Exactly.
So
does your government have any type of penalties for people who are just being disobedient and not considerate of other people if they don't care about themselves?
Oh yes, I saw that in the news, but implementation-wise, I don't think that's happening. I don't think that's really happening. Except in some few places, certain people were were questioned, for not using the masks or sanitizers. But I think the penalty can be better to ensure that our lives are safe.
Mm-hmm. So are you living in a big family, and do you live with a lot of people?
Oh, not really. We are three, myself and my brother, we stay together. I'm a twin. Myself and my twin brother, we stay together. Then we
You're a,
have, oh yes.
you have a twin brother? You mean there's another person who's identical to you running around the world?
Oh, not identical, actually. We are fraternal twins.
You're not a,
Yes, but maximally, we're always three in the house, and we try the best we can to go out. We wear masks, and when we're back in the house, we try to wash our hands. So just doing we can't be too careful when it comes to COVID-19. So we try the best we can to be safe, and thank God we are safe and fine.
you know, I've always wanted to interview twins, and I've never been able to find twins who weren't camera shy. Maybe we can do another segment with your brother. I would love that. Would you be up for it?
Absolutely, that'd be interesting. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I think you would love to come online.
Yeah, because you hear so many things about twins, they feel each other's pain, they like the same things, they share girlfriends. It would be nice. I'm definitely going to do a second segment with you and your brother. Are a lot of these things true? Do you feel each other's pain? Do you feel some of the same things? Are you attracted to the same things? Like the same job? Tell me.
Interestingly, we have two different personalities. Exactly. He's more outgoing. He's more of an extrovert. I'm more of an introvert. But I've learned over the years to balance things up. That's why I'm having this conversation with you right now. So, oh yeah.
When you're in a room behind a camera, it's much easier if you're shy, right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I prefer the audio, just talk, no visuals.
Maybe if I were doing this interview in our television studio, you might not come, would you?
No, I will be available because one thing I've learned over the years, I think 2015, I was working in a place in Lagos. I was an MC, we're having an end of the year party. I was a MC because I believe so much in balancing, in improving in your weak places and gaining strength. That's very crucial for our growth. Just like COVID-19 has taught us, we have to be out there, you have to work, you have to make changes,
right?
To your personality. Like video marketing is very big. It's something that I will leverage also. Probably I have a lot to learn from you in that regard. So, oh yeah, I saw a couple of your videos on YouTube and I was like, this is amazing. You are doing a great job.
Oh,
so
sweet, thank you. Sometimes I wonder, I've been told that I'm wasting my time, but it's what I love to do, and I get to meet fascinating people like you. So how could that be a waste of time?
No, not at all. Someday, somehow, somebody will stumble into your videos and be entertained and be informed. Videos have a way of pointing them to the right direction. So, Jennylyn, you're on the right track.
Thank you.
So,
Exactly what you just said is my goal. If I can share one person who can influence one other person, I've done my job. Hopefully it's more, but if it's only one, I am still grateful to God.
Wow.
I'm very excited that I'm getting this opportunity to interview you. I find you fascinating. I love your attitude. Now tell me, are you from a big family in Africa or just you and your brother?
Okay, we're a family of 5. My dad and my mom. More like I have 4 siblings, my twin inclusive. We are the last born, so I have 3 elderly ones. A sister. More like 2, 3. We are 4 guys, 1 lady. 4 guys, 1 lady. So that's a family. My dad is no more. We lost him 20 years ago.
I'm sorry.
Thank you. But my mom is alive and well. She's over 70, but she's kicking very fine.
Well, thank God for that, right? Tell her to
Thank
stay safe and keep her mask on and continue to take the necessary precautions. Unfortunately, none of us have any clue when this COVID thing is going to, calm down. My gut feeling, it won't be for a while because it sounds like it's already mutating into different strains. And, so what we have to continue to do is be vigilant. And I think, what is the lesson that you've learned during this COVID? What do you think about this whole COVID thing?
Wow. Yeah, I've learned basically that one primary lesson. The first one I've learned is that we should be our brother's keepers. You know,
You should do what?
we should be a brother's keeper.
Okay. Look out for each other.
Look out for each other. Because if at the exception of COVID-19, America reached out, just an instance, I'm not blaming America. I'm just saying that if we had known that this wasn't a Chinese problem alone, we would have intervened, and the spread probably would have been minimized.
Isn't that amazing? As Americans, we don't realize the impact we're having on the rest of the world. And I have discovered in doing this and speaking with people that in many countries, the trend is set by us. Whatever we say, the rest of the world sort of goes with it. So when we drop the ball, we really look bad in the eyes of everyone, apparently.
Exactly. We also, in other parts of the world, we should have the habit of also, evolving. We should evolve. We should look out for ourselves too, because because if if America didn't rise to the occasion by going ahead technology-wise, by being innovative, by being proactive, where would the rest of the world be? So all of us, we have to look out for each other. And then another lesson I've learned is that technology is bigger than what we. Technology is bigger than what we imagined. And the reason why we're having this conversation today, Seb, and we're able to connect and relate is because we have platforms like LinkedIn, we have platforms like YouTube, we have platforms like Zoom, that's made our lives very easier, that's made things easier for the whole world at large in a period like this. Businesses leverage on Zoom to do meetings, to collaborate. We have platforms that are lovely, so in that way, we've been proactive as humanity. We've been very proactive. Technology has put us in the place of being proactive to an extent.
Well, I have to thank you because you work in creating and maintaining those platforms. So we're grateful to all the great minds like yourself who put energy into making it possible for you and I to have this conversation and for you to be in my living room, although you're in Nigeria.
Yeah, that's interesting. I have a beautiful living room.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. It's probably the only place in my house I can do these interviews because the rest of my home has beds or pots or something.
You're very funny.
Because of the light, this room is probably the best for this. So almost all of my interviews I've done here. I've thought of a green screen, too much work. I just keep everything simple. Wow. So what are your plans going forward in the new world? Because I don't think the world as we knew it is going to continue that way anymore. I think we are being forced into adjustments and forced into setting a new norm. How are you feeling about that, and are you prepared?
Okay, it's one principle that works for me as a person is I look out there for what works, and I try to pattern my strategies after it. If there's something that works in this period in time that I found out, is building relationships. That is very primary. Even in the business world, people patronize who they know. primarily people patronize, And I tested this at the beginning of this pandemic. I just try connecting with people, reaching out to them. How you doing? How you faring? How can I help in my little way? And then I found some opportunities in the process. So building relationships will be vital to anything we want to do, any of our goals, any height you want to go to. You will need people to get to any place you want to get to. No matter your technology skills, no matter your skill sets, whether you're very good with the computer, at the end of the day, you still have to interface with people. So building relationships is very vital for me. And also it's good we leverage on all the, prescriptions by business experts as to how to manage their businesses in a time like this. You have to reach out to your customers. You have to ensure that they're fine. You have to ensure that they know more about your new processes, because our processes have changed. We can't go with the old processes we leverage when we had those physical offices. So our processes have to change. We have to be agile. So that's what I'm doing myself. I look out there for what works. Like a couple of days ago, I went back to Instagram because I was very active on Instagram, but at some point I stopped. I got so busy with my LinkedIn optimization. So I went back to Instagram and I was trying to see what works. And by mere changing some hashtags, I made a lot of progress. My reach increased. One of my posts got about almost 7,000 reach, despite the fact that I didn't pay any amount of money. I didn't do any sponsored post. So we have to just keep trying, evaluate different strategies. Look at what works out there. Look at the big companies. Instagram, they've made changes. We now have Reel. They're trying to see how they can rival TikTok. So our competitors, you can study them. That will give you some advantage as well. You can think of how to be innovative, value-added, services you can provide, even in a time like this. So for me, being thoughtful, being innovative is very critical in a time like this. And following trends. Notice the trends and follow it.
So you're an expert. Which is the best platform you think for like what I do for promoting videos? Which one would you rank as the most, the one best to invest in?
Okay, for what to do, I would recommend LinkedIn is perfect in that you can easily know your buyer personnel. You can easily know your audience. LinkedIn, you will see different designation, you will see their roles. So it's easier for you to know your buyer personnel, unlike on Twitter, on Instagram. But Instagram is also good for what you do. All the platforms are good, but if you are the only person working on the platform, I would recommend that you can focus more on LinkedIn and Instagram, which is what I'm doing at the moment too. My main focus, LinkedIn, Instagram. I observe a lot. Through observations, we learn. There are practices that will always work. So observe those practices, evaluate hashtags, evaluate different things, your audience, look at what they're looking at for out there. Video marketing is big, like we already agreed, very big. So you putting your face out there, it's a lot of plus, added advantage for you, unlike someone like me. So you have a very big audience out there that are ready to listen to you. And I like the HEMO, the method of operation of your interviews, not rigid, very flexible. You are very real. So that goes a long way.
I try to keep it real. I don't want to anybody else's platform, anybody else's, design. This is just me, and that's why I call my show Conversations with Jennylyn. I don't want to be a reporter for a station that's looking for sensation to get ratings. I am hoping that any ratings I get is coming from the real stuff, real people, real experiences, nothing that's butchered. And so you always get just, I hope that helps my guests to relax and feel comfortable so that they can open up.
Certainly. So, and you're doing a very terrific job at that. You are doing a very great job at that.
Thank
All
you.
thanks to
You're my new fan. Thank you. So,
Thank you.
we all hear about Africa, and there's some things we hear about Africa. I can tell you this, my experience with Africa, there are two. Everybody thinks I am from Africa because I was born in Guyana, and most people don't realize, or they confuse Ghana with Guyana. So when I say I am from Guyana, they always think Ghana, and I say separate continent, different countries. My second experience with Africa is I have encountered more scammers than you can shake a stick at. I always say that I have the magnet for the scammers, but I think part of it is that I'm so trusting. So I want to debunk those. I want to debunk that with more positive African experiences. Not that the first one is a negative thing. It's okay if people think I'm from Africa. I don't care about that. But the scammers, it's been a really big problem for me. And I know that Africa has good people. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I think there are a lot of people who feel the way I do because they've been scammed by send me money, you're my uncle, or the biggest thing I had is I was selling a baby, a Yamaha piano. And it was $20,000. Somebody in Africa offered to buy it for 22, or sent me a check that was not a real check for 22 and said it was an error, and then asked me if I could send it back. Anyway, it was a big scam that I was even asked to put it on television because of what they did. Fortunately, I'm really savvy and they didn't get away with it. But it worried me because they're older people who may not be as savvy because they don't have access to the internet like I do to learn this is going on. And so I am happy that I could highlight somebody like you who shows that in Africa, they're good people who work hard with integrity. And I'm sure you are aware of these scammers in your country.
Yeah, absolutely. Interestingly, I saw some news of a particular lady, 18 years old, committed suicide because she lost the money to scammers. Just saw it in the news moments ago before coming on the show.
Are you kidding me? Is she?
Yeah, she committed suicide because she lost a lot of money, 100,000 naira in Nigerian currency to scammers. So because of that, she committed suicide. So it's sad, it's terrible. It's very, very annoying. It's a wicked heart, for someone to
Yes.
for someone to put people in that kind of situation, where they feel all they've worked for has been taken away from them by someone that is.
The person who did it to me tried to tell me that his son was in the hospital needing a liver transplant and was all day long messaging me to send the money back, which he never sent me. And I took the check to the bank and it was a fake check. And thank God I did that. So the bank made me call the television station to put the story out there so that other innocent people wouldn't be victimized. And thank God I wasn't. So does your government punish these people when they're caught? Is there any way they can catch them, and are they held accountable when they're caught?
Well, to an extent, the government is trying in their bid. We have a particular body called EFCC. They fight crime and they ensure that people that are into internet fraud, especially the younger ones, they're caught. But we know also that people have a way of getting away with their bad acts, these terrible acts at times. So in a way, the government is pushing, but in another way, if we don't tackle corruption, certain acts will go unpunished for years. You know, the only way to come out to do justice to such people. So it's very sad. It's terrible to hear even from you that you once had that kind of experience. You know, we just hope that people stay alert. You know, people stay informed. You know, they stay very techy, and then you ask questions before sending money to anyone. Ask questions. You know, because it's because of the people take advantage of the situation of the country. They say the country we have what are going through in terms of poverty, and then because of that, they think it's okay for you to get money through unjust means. It doesn't make any sense. You can't fight wrong with wrong. You can't fight fire with fire. You can't fight evil with evil. You know, it's only love that prevails in the long run. So it's sad. It's the way it is. A lot of Nigerians are not trusted today because of these fraudsters. But out there, even in the US, all around the world, we have great Nigerians doing us proud. One of them is Yanis, is a basketballer. He's the one on my profile.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is he your idol?
Partly in that the guy is very hardworking. He puts in his best on the court. His story very inspiring. You know, the parents, they are Nigerians, moved to Greece, and then from there they moved to the US. They had some experiences in Greece, and then you know they wanted the greener pastures of the US, and they came over there and the shining, putting this work, you know, putting hard work, a lot of hard work into what he's doing, and they love Nigerians like that. I've met a lot of them on LinkedIn too, very hardworking, putting in their best to ensure that they put food on the table through just means. It's just very sad that the other guys, the bad guys, kind of taking away the opportunities that the good guys could have. But we know that we hope that things will get better, you know, for the upcoming generation.
Because they say it only takes one bad apple to spoil the bunch. And so
Exactly.
people who are already racial or prejudiced against dark skin, and then when
Exactly.
some of the people that they target are white people. So it's a sad, really sad state. So you kind of have to get to the very bottom of these issues sometimes to really figure out why we have the issues. Sometimes it's more than people just disliking you because of the color of your skin. Because one bad apple of that bunch can make it the whole pack suffer. And I think there's a lot of that going on against Nigerians because of the wicked Nigerians that perpetrate these crimes. So we're almost out of time, and I don't want to wrap this interview up until you've said everything you want to say. What do you want to leave with people watching this interview? About you, about your country, about life? The ball's in your court.
Well, I think the best I can say is for us to strive to be best at what we do, and then to always strive to love one another. You know, I'm a preacher of love. I believe the goal of life is to love. You know, 2010 or thereabouts, when I joined Facebook, my tagline was, "The depth of love I hold the world has to be fully paid." You know, so I believe so much in compassion. Let's do the best we can to reach out to people. We will make mistakes as humans, but put your best foot forward, do the best you can, and at the moment you have to stay safe, ensure you wear your masks, ensure you use those sanitizers, pray for health workers. They are the ones at the forefront of the battle. Let's pray for them, wish them well. And for those that have lost loved ones like myself, my thoughts are with them. We hope that they will find a peace and comfort this period. I also hope that business people will leverage on technology to move their businesses forward, and then cope, and then also thrive. Beyond coping, I would desire for them to thrive in this season. Thank you so much for having me, Jennylyn.
Absolutely. It was my pleasure. It was my pleasure. Before you go, I want to help you promote your business. Why don't you share
Oh, thank you.
about your business and how people can contact you? We're out of time, but I want you to do that anyway.
Oh, okay. Thank you so very much. What we do is more of a total IT solution. We are into web design, mobile app development, search engine optimization, PPC. I'm on LinkedIn as Toyin Kennie Oyinloye, and the name of our business is comedia.com.ng. We provide all those services I mentioned. The goal of our brand is to ensure that you build a formidable brand. It's to ensure that your business is moving forward. You get a traction from Google, you get traction from social media, and then your contents are well optimized. And then you also leverage on technology to push your brand forward. That's what we advocate. That's what we. That's why we exist as a business, to help other brands succeed. Like I was reading about how Amazon, Instacart, a couple of other companies, they've been raking the money even at this period. Their stocks are going higher and higher. They are even recruiting. So when you leverage technology, your business has a way of just getting the best returns, especially in times such as this. And thank you, Jennylyn. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for being open. Thank you for pushing. I actually really appreciate it. I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. No, I want to thank you, Toyin. I know it's a Sunday and you could be out having, oh no, you can't. You have to stay home. It's COVID time.
It's okay.
I'm sure you could be watching a movie or doing something speaking to Jennylyn. So I just want you to know how grateful I am. I'm hoping that somebody will gain some type of inspiration from the time we have spent doing this. And I hope you get some customers.
Thank you.
Sounds like you're very talented. And thank you so much for watching Conversations with Jennylyn again. And I hope that this conversation has inspired you and that you are going to walk away from this with some type of inspiration to do something for yourself or somebody else. And I will see you next time.
Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.